Have you ever felt like the world was crumbling around you? Like someone you completely trusted pulled the rug out from under you, leaving you lost in a chasm of pain, confusion, and despair? If you're watching this video, you've likely experienced one of the deepest wounds the human soul can endure: betrayal. Maybe it was a partner who broke sacred promises, a friend who revealed your most intimate secrets, or even a family member who chose the opposite side when you needed support most. Betrayal isn't just an act against us, it's an earthquake that shakes the very foundations of our trust in the world and the people we love. But today, I want to invite you on a different journey, a journey where the pain you carry won't be in vain, where the darkness you face will become the raw material for an even brighter light. We'll walk together through the teachings of one of the wisest characters ever created in literature, Gandalf the Grey, who became the White. A being who knew betrayal in its most subtle and devastating forms, who faced darkness not only around him, but within those he loved most, and who still chose to remain a beacon of hope amidst the chaos. Lesson 3. Even the smallest person can change the course of history. A betrayal can make you feel small, insignificant, like your pain doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Gandalf teaches us that a person's size doesn't determine the impact they can have on the world. Your healing journey, your choice to forgive or to grow stronger, your decision not to let bitterness consume your heart, all of this can have a transformative effect not only on your life, but on the lives of everyone around you. You are more powerful than you imagine, and your capacity to positively influence the world doesn't diminish because someone chose to betray you. Lesson 4. Wisdom is found in contemplation, not impulsive action. When we're betrayed, our first reaction might be to act immediately, confront, retaliate, make the person feel the same way we do. Gandalf teaches us that true wisdom comes from careful contemplation, the time needed to process what happened before deciding how to respond. Allow yourself to feel the pain, but don't act from it. Take time to reflect, to understand not only what happened, but what you can learn from the situation. The best decisions are rarely made in the heat of the moment, but rather when we can see the situation with clarity and perspective. Lesson 5. Power lies in knowing when not to use power. You might have the power to destroy the person who betrayed you, to expose their secrets, to ruin their reputation. Gandalf teaches us that true power lies in knowing when not to use that power. Sometimes the most powerful response is restraint, the conscious choice not to retaliate. This doesn't mean being passive or letting people walk all over you, but choosing your battles wisely. Not every offense deserves a response. Not every betrayal requires revenge. The power you demonstrate by choosing to not use all your might against someone who hurt you is one of the highest forms of inner strength. Lesson 6. Hope is kindled in the darkest hours. In the darkest moments after betrayal, it can feel impossible to see any light on the horizon. Gandalf reminds us that it is precisely in these moments that hope becomes most crucial and most powerful. Hope isn't a passive feeling, but an active choice we make every day. Choosing to believe that better days will come, that you can heal, that you can love and trust again, that's one of the bravest forms of resistance against the darkness. Hope doesn't deny the reality of pain, but refuses to accept that this pain is permanent. Lesson 7. We do not have the right to decide the life and death of others. When someone betrays us, it's common to wish bad things on that person, that they get what they deserve. Gandalf teaches us that it's not our place to decide the fate of others, not even those who have hurt us. This wisdom frees us from the toxic weight of revenge. When you stop trying to control what happens to the one who betrayed you, you release enormous energy that can be redirected to your own healing and growth. Trust that life has its own way of balancing things, and focus your energy on rebuilding your own life. Lesson 8. Time heals all wounds, but leaves scars that make us wiser. Healing doesn't mean forgetting or pretending the betrayal never happened. Gandalf teaches us that time does heal, but the scars that remain serve as reminders of our capacity to survive and grow. Your emotional scars aren't signs of weakness, but badges of honor showing you've been through something difficult and emerged stronger. Each scar tells a story of resilience, of courageous choices, of moments when you chose to keep going even when everything seemed lost. Honor your scars as part of your growth journey. Lesson 9. True strength comes from compassion, not hardness. After a betrayal, we might feel we need to harden ourselves, build walls, never again let anyone get close enough to hurt us. Gandalf teaches us that true strength doesn't come from hardness, but from compassion, including compassion for ourselves. Being compassionate doesn't mean being naive or irresponsibly vulnerable. It means keeping your heart open to love and connection even after being hurt. Compassion is a courageous choice that requires far more strength than bitterness or cynicism. Lesson 10. Even in the deepest darkness, a small light can be seen. When we're in the midst of the pain of betrayal, it can seem like there's no light anywhere. Gandalf reminds us that it is precisely in these moments that hope becomes most crucial and most powerful. Hope isn't a passive feeling, but an active choice we make every day. Choosing to believe that better days will come, that you can heal, that you can love and trust again, that's one of the bravest forms of resistance against the darkness. Hope doesn't deny the reality of pain, but refuses to accept that this pain is permanent. Lesson 7. We do not have the right to decide the life and death of others. When someone betrays us, it's common to wish bad things on that person, that they get what they deserve. Gandalf teaches us that it's not our place to decide the fate of others, not even those who have hurt us. This wisdom frees us from the toxic weight of revenge. When you stop trying to control what happens to the one who betrayed you, you release enormous energy that can be redirected to your own healing and growth. Trust that life has its own way of balancing things, and focus your energy on rebuilding your own life. Lesson 9. True strength comes from compassion, not hardness. After a betrayal, we might feel we need to harden ourselves, build walls, never again let anyone get close enough to hurt us. Gandalf teaches us that true strength doesn't come from hardness, but from compassion, including compassion for ourselves. Being compassionate doesn't mean being naive or irresponsibly vulnerable. It means keeping your heart open to love and connection even after being hurt. Compassion is a courageous choice that requires far more strength than bitterness or cynicism. Lesson 10. Even in the deepest darkness, a small light can be seen. When we're in the midst of the pain of betrayal, it can seem like there's no light anywhere. Gandalf reminds us that even in the most desperate situations, there's always a small light to be found if we're willing to look. That light might be a friend who stands by you, a lesson learned, an inner strength you didn't know you possessed, or simply the promise that this difficult moment will pass. Actively search for these small lights in your life. They may be subtle, but they're powerful enough to guide you through the darkness. Lesson 11. What we do with the time we're given is what matters. A betrayal can make it feel like we've wasted time, that we invested in something that wasn't worthwhile. Gandalf teaches us that what truly matters isn't the time that was lost, but what we do with the time we still have. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose how to respond to your situation. You can choose to be stuck in the past, reliving the pain indefinitely, or you can choose to use your time to heal, grow, and build something better. Time is the most valuable resource we have, and how we choose to use it after a betrayal defines who we become. Lesson 12. Wisdom doesn't come from the absence of pain, but from how we handle it. It's tempting to think that wise people are those who've never suffered, who've never experienced betrayal or disappointment. Gandalf teaches us that true wisdom comes not from the absence of pain, but from how we choose to deal with it when it arrives. Your current pain isn't a sign of weakness or lack of wisdom. It's an opportunity to develop a deeper and more authentic wisdom. Every challenge you face, every betrayal you overcome, adds a layer of understanding and maturity that can't be gained any other way. Lesson 13. Not all treasures are made of gold. When someone betrays us, we might feel we've lost something precious. trust, love, security. Gandalf reminds us that not all treasures are material or external. Sometimes the greatest riches we can gain are internal: self-knowledge, resilience, the capacity to love unconditionally, the strength to forgive. These treasures can't be stolen or betrayed by others. They are genuinely yours, forged in your own journey of growth and healing. Look for the inner treasures you're developing through this difficult experience. Lesson 14. Patience is the virtue of the strong. Healing from a betrayal doesn't happen overnight. There will be days when you feel better and others when the pain feels as intense as it did on day one. Gandalf teaches us that patience isn't passivity, but a form of strength. Being patient with yourself during the healing process is an act of self-love and wisdom. There's no rush to get over it or forget. Allow yourself the time you need to process, understand, and integrate this experience into your life. Patience with your own healing process is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Lesson 15. The power of choice is never taken from us. Even when betrayed, even when feeling utterly powerless, Gandalf reminds us that we retain the most fundamental power of all, the power to choose our response. No one can choose for you how to react, how to feel, how to interpret what happened. You can choose whether to let the betrayal define you or to use the experience to redefine yourself. You can choose to become bitter or to become more compassionate. You can choose to close yourself off to the world or to open yourself to new possibilities. This power of choice is inalienable and represents your fundamental freedom as a human being. Lesson 16. Courage is not the absence of fear, but action in the face of fear. After a betrayal, it may feel like we've lost our courage, that we've become fearful and hesitant. Gandalf teaches us that courage was never about not feeling fear, but about acting rightly despite fear. You are courageous every time you choose to get back up after being knocked down, every time you decide to try again after being hurt, every time you open your heart to love despite the risk of being hurt again. Courage is a muscle that strengthens with use, and each small act of bravery prepares you for greater challenges. Lesson 17. Words have power. Choose them wisely. When betrayed, the words we use to describe our experience, both to others and to ourselves, have immense power to shape our reality. Gandalf teaches us that we must choose our words carefully. Instead of defining yourself as a victim, you can choose to see yourself as a survivor or a warrior. Instead of saying, "I'll never trust anyone again," you can say, "I will learn to trust more wisely." The words you use create the world you live in. Choose words that empower, that heal, that open possibilities instead of closing them. Lesson 18. The light that shines within you cannot be extinguished by others. One of the greatest wounds of betrayal is the feeling that our inner light has been dimmed or extinguished. Gandalf reminds us that the light that shines within you is your deepest essence, and no one has the power to extinguish it. They may temporarily obscure it, they may cause you to forget that it exists, but it remains there, waiting to be rediscovered. Your task is not to create a new light, but to remove whatever is blocking the light that already exists. That light is your source of power, your connection to the divine, your capacity for love and creation. Lesson 19. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Forgiveness is perhaps the most difficult and misunderstood aspect of healing after a betrayal. Gandalf teaches us that forgiveness is not about absolving the person who hurt you or pretending that what happened wasn't serious. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, the freedom to no longer carry the weight of resentment and anger. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting or blindly trusting again. It means choosing not to let another person's action continue to control your emotional life. Forgiveness is a process, not a single event, and you can forgive in your own time and in your own way. Lesson 20. Wisdom often comes disguised as difficulty. It's natural to question why bad things happen to good people.
Gandalf teaches us that wisdom often comes disguised as difficulty. Life's most valuable lessons are rarely learned in moments of comfort and ease. They are forged in the fire of adversity, refined by the pressure of pain, and discovered in the depths of challenge. This doesn't mean that pain is good, or that you should be grateful for the betrayal, but rather that you can choose to extract wisdom and growth from any experience, no matter how difficult. Lesson 21. Not all who seem friends are true, and not all who seem enemies are false. A betrayal often reveals that our perception of people was incorrect. Gandalf teaches us that appearances can be deceiving, and that we must learn to see beyond the surface. This lesson is not about becoming cynical or distrustful, but about developing discernment. Learn to observe people's actions over time, not just their words. Pay attention to how they treat others, especially those who can offer nothing in return. Develop your intuition and learn to trust your instincts about people even when it contradicts what you'd like to believe. Lesson 22. True wealth lies in genuine relationships. After a betrayal, it may seem that all relationships are dangerous or unreliable. Gandalf reminds us that life's true wealth lies in genuine relationships, in those authentic connections that survive the tests of time and adversity. A betrayal can be an opportunity to identify who is truly on your side, who offers unconditional support, who remains when things get tough. These people are your true treasures. Invest time and energy in nurturing these genuine relationships, for they are the foundation upon which a fulfilling life is built. Lesson 23. Silence is often more powerful than 1,000 words. When betrayed, we may feel an urgency to explain, defend, confront, or make the person understand how much they hurt us. Gandalf teaches us that sometimes silence is more powerful than 1,000 words.
There are times when the most dignified response is simply to walk away in silence, to let your actions speak for you. Silence can be a way to maintain your dignity, to not stoop to the level of the one who betrayed you, to preserve your energy for more important things. Learn to recognize when words are necessary and when silence is more eloquent. Lesson 24. The storm passes, but the tree that survives grows stronger. The intense pain you feel now is not permanent. Wise Mentor teaches us that all storms pass, but those who survive become stronger. Your experience with betrayal is like a storm that tests your roots, that forces you to find strengths you didn't know you possessed. When the storm passes, and it will pass, you will discover that your roots have deepened, that your resilience has increased, that your ability to face future challenges has expanded. You are not the same person you were before the betrayal. You are stronger, wiser, more resilient. Lesson 25. Genuine love cannot be destroyed by betrayal. It may seem contradictory, but Wise Mentor teaches us that genuine love cannot be destroyed by betrayal. This doesn't mean you should continue loving someone who betrayed you in the same way as before, but rather that your capacity to love, your ability to feel love, to give love, to receive love remains intact. Betrayal can hurt, it can disappoint, it can shatter trust, but it cannot destroy your loving essence. Protect this part of you as the most precious treasure you possess. Don't allow bitterness or cynicism to contaminate your capacity to love. Lesson 26. Every step on the journey has its purpose. When we look back and see the path we've traveled, including the betrayals and hardships, Wise Mentor teaches us that every step had its purpose. This doesn't mean the betrayal was meant to be or that you deserved to go through it, but rather that you can choose to give meaning and purpose to any experience. Perhaps this experience has made you more compassionate towards others who suffer. Perhaps it has developed an inner strength you didn't know you possessed. Perhaps it has clarified your values and priorities. Seek the purpose in your journey, even in the most difficult parts. Lesson 27. True freedom comes from within. After a betrayal, we may feel that our freedom has been limited, freedom to trust, to love, to be vulnerable. Wise mentor teaches us that true freedom cannot be taken from us by external circumstances or the actions of other people. Real freedom comes from within, from our ability to choose our response, to define our own values, to create meaning in our life. No one can imprison you mentally or spiritually without your consent. You are free to interpret your experience, to choose how it will affect your future, to decide who you want to be regardless of what others have done to you. Lesson 29. Kindness is a choice we make every day. After being betrayed, it can be tempting to become hardened, cynical, cruel. Wise mentor teaches us that kindness is not a weakness, but a courageous choice we make every day. Choosing to be kind after being hurt requires tremendous strength. It means refusing to allow the cruelty of others to change your fundamental nature. Kindness is not naivete. You can be kind and still have healthy boundaries. You can be compassionate and still protect yourself. Kindness is a form of resistance against the darkness of the world. Lesson 30. What doesn't kill us makes us wiser. There's a difference between being strong and being wise. Wise mentor teaches us that the true transformation that comes from adversity is not just about becoming stronger, but about becoming wiser. Wisdom is the ability to see patterns, to understand human motivations, to make better choices based on experience. Your experience with betrayal, however painful, is contributing to your wisdom. You are learning about human nature, about warning signs, about the importance of authenticity. This wisdom will be a valuable guide for the rest of your life. Lesson 30. Even darkness must pass. This is perhaps the most important lesson of all. Wise mentor reminds us that nothing, not even the deepest darkness, is permanent. The pain you feel now will lessen. The confusion you experience will clarify. The wound that seems unhealable will heal. This doesn't mean you will forget or that the experience won't change you, but rather that you will not be trapped in this pain forever. There is light waiting on the other side of this darkness. There is joy waiting to be rediscovered again. There is love waiting to be experienced again. Trust the process, have patience with the journey, and always remember, even darkness must pass. And so we come to the end of this journey through Wise Mentor's lessons for those who have faced betrayal. I hope these words have touched something deep in your heart, that they have ignited a flame of hope amidst the darkness you may be facing. Remember, you are not defined by the betrayal you suffered, but by how you choose to respond to it. You have within you a strength that no betrayal can break, a light that no darkness can extinguish, a capacity for love that no disappointment can destroy. Your healing journey doesn't end here. It is an ongoing process, a daily choice to grow in wisdom, compassion, and strength. On the difficult days that may still come, return to these lessons. Remember that even Wise Mentor faced moments of doubt and darkness, but always chose to be a beacon of light for others. You too can make that choice. If these words have brought comfort to your heart, if these lessons have resonated with your soul, I invite you to share this video with someone who may be going through a similar situation. Sometimes knowing we are not alone in our pain is the first step toward healing. Leave a comment below sharing which lesson touched you the most, or tell us how you are applying these teachings in your own journey. Your story may be exactly what someone else needs to hear to find hope. And if you wish to continue on this journey of growth and wisdom, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Here, we regularly explore timeless wisdom that can help us navigate life's challenges with more grace, strength, and purpose. Remember, you are stronger than you imagine, wiser than you believe, and more loved than you sometimes feel. Even darkness must pass, and when it does, you will be there, stronger, wiser, more compassionate, and ready to help others still walking through their own shadows. May the light of the Wise Mentor shine upon your path, and may you find a peace that surpasses all understanding. Until our next journey, my friend, go in peace, go in wisdom, go in love.